All right, today I'm going to be reacting to I'm Wide Awake, It's Morning by Bright Eyes. I believe I've heard something from Bright Eyes. I think I've heard a feature, maybe on a Phoebe Bridgers album from the vocalist of Bright Eyes, but that's pretty much all I've heard. I know they're pretty popular. Don't really know what genre they classify as, but yeah, I'm hyped to get into this one.
So there was this woman.
She's got a drink.
And she was
I don't know why I'm doing a British accent, but
and she was flying to meet her fiance, sitting high above the largest ocean on planet Earth, and she was seated next to this man who, she had tried to start conversations, and the only thing she'd heard him say was just to order his Bloody Mary, and suddenly there was this huge mechanical failure, and one of the engines gave out, and they started just falling 30,000 feet. The pilot's on the microphone, and he's saying, I'm sorry, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm apologizing, and she looks at the man, and she says, where are we going? And he looks at her, and he says, we're going to a party. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Cool intro. I like that.
We must talk in every telephone, get eaten off the web. We must rip out all the epilogues from the books that we have read. It'll go like this, alright. While my mother waters plants, my father loads his gun. He says death will give us back.
Really interesting mix on this too. Very DIY. I kind of thought that Bright Eyes was more poppy than this, but maybe not.
We must plunge, and then we'll get down there, way down to the very bottom of everything, and then we'll see it. Oh, we'll see it, we'll see it, we'll see it. Oh, my morning's coming back. The whole world's waking up.
Again, I thought Bright Eyes had more of a poppy, more polished sound, but maybe we'll get kind of like a more DIY sounding folk leaning album here, which would be interesting. This story to start off was great. Planes crashing, and then this part is really interesting. It's a birthday party. Sue Junior says, the story is bizarre but decipherable. We're all strangers to each other until an urgent or traumatic or even emotional event breaks down the walls that separate us and bring us together. That's pretty obvious. I feel like the stranger seems to turn into her father as the plane starts to nosedive. There also seems to be some satire about the state of the world. We are born on a sinking ship, and instead of formulating a plan, everyone is trying to pull the wool over our eyes. Interesting. So maybe some social commentary going on here. So yeah, I enjoyed that quite a bit. I'm intrigued to see where this goes. We're gonna keep it going. The next track is We Are Nowhere, and it's now. I swear, I thought Bright Eyes was like kind of emo-y, pop-punky type stuff, but maybe not.
No truth, and who cares? How come you say it?
If you hate the taste of wine,
right.
that's a reference back to the last track.
Why are you scared?
I think, right?
Of God, we are nowhere, and it's now. In like a 10-minute dream in the passenger seat while the world was flying by. I haven't been gone.
He keeps mentioning that plane crash, or that plane.
With a head full of pesticide.
The angst is really interesting on this album, because it's not necessarily portrayed in an angsty way. Like the music itself doesn't feel that angsty, but the lyrics really are.
Things that kill, but now you probably should have learned.
So he's drunk here.
Yellow bird, oh how could you forget your yellow bird?
Interesting. Again, angsty, but it's kind of hopeful in in the sound of everything. I mean, even Genius says here, it's about trying to remain optimistic from your sorry estate. Like, he's drunk here. He's kind of just not doing so good. I was gonna say something about. I feel like we're referencing again wine. I think, was that part of the first track here? I gotta go back. I feel like this story at the beginning, maybe it'll continue throughout the entire album. Maybe it'll continue to be referenced throughout the entire album. Order his Bloody Mary. So that's where I thought of wine. I guess it's not the same thing, but kind of reminded me. Yeah, that was good. Again, very acoustic. Did not expect such an acoustic sound, but I'm honestly more intrigued by the lyrics right now than by the actual instrumentals. But yeah, let's keep it going. Did I get? No, I didn't give that a rating. Another good one though.
Gray light, new day leaks through the window. An old soul song comes on the alarm clock radio. And there were barricades to keep us off the street.
Talking about a protest here, it looks like.
But wow.
Oh.
Wishing so bad that it held some kind of truth. And I stood nervous next to you in the dark room.
So developing the film here. This is a great story. Like I feel like I'm here.
Yeah, they go wild.
It's my favorite easily. So good. So good. That's easily my favorite track. I love the story to this one. Story is really engaging. We'll give that a good, yeah, easily my favorite. Sound, musically, the most interesting. I love this chorus, how you think after this chorus it's going to explode. Pre-chorus gives it a little time to breathe before it actually explodes. Kind of subverts your expectations a little bit there. In terms of the story, talking about this protest here, really painting a nice picture here. Till they swallowed the police, the crowd. They went wild. They. I mean, it's not obvious who he's talking about. He could be talking about the protesters themselves or the police as well. We left, so then they're leaving here. Held your camera like a Bible. So he's looking to the photos or the videos, or I guess photos that they captured to see some sort of truth maybe in the insanity of it all. Developing the film here. I don't want to click Genius. I feel like I want to just kind of do this on my own. Developing the film here begins to bloom. They go wild. So he doesn't specifically say what it is in the photo, but I feel like with the chorus coming back in, they go wild. It's just kind of, he just sees, he was expecting something else, but he still sees insanity. I feel like he's using this story as a metaphor, obviously, for his life, maybe looking for sanity in certain things and not finding it. I don't know. That might be a very surface level interpretation of it, but again, I like the story quite a bit, and then there is some deeper meaning to it that you can kind of dive into. And musically, like I said, easily my favorite, the most dense and just the most intricate. So yeah, really enjoyed that. I'm surprised it's one of the least streamed on this album, because that was fantastic. mean, this album's pretty simple musically so far, but the stories are really what I'm loving.
Keep waving at the taxis, they keep turning their lights off.
Makes sense why Phoebe Bridgers collabed with the vocalist of this band, because I feel like their songwriting is kind of similar. You know, they both do a great job of kind of just painting a picture, putting you in a place, being very descriptive with their stories. So yeah, I feel like it makes sense. There's definitely some similarities there. I love the kind of the soft, almost whispered delivery of the vocals on this track.
The mask I polish in the evening, by the morning looks like shit. Love, I saw you in the evening, by the morning won't exist.
Great writing. He's like telling this person that he really can't be trusted, you know? She's not a gamble. She knows what she's getting into.
Oh, it's so easy in the evening, by the morning such a drag.
It's a depressing track here, man.
Got a flask inside my pocket, we can share it on the train. It was so simple in the moonlight, now it's so complicated. It was so simple in the moonlight, so simple in the moonlight, so simple in the moonlight.
That was so good. That was so good. I'm gonna give that the 10. I don't care. That was amazing. Very stripped back, but very hard hitting. The writing on this one is fantastic. I love the vocal delivery and the very potent emotion that you get from these vocals. Details a life riddled with substance abuse and loneliness. It kind of reminds me of Elliott Smith in that way. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit more self-explanatory lyrically, but there's still so many just gems in here and so many great lines. We might die from medication, but we sure killed all the pain. Like, it's obvious. Like, it's just straightforward what it means, but it still hits hard, you know? What was normal in the evening by the morning seems insane. I feel like that's kind of the central idea of this track. What once seemed normal now seems crazy. This section here talking about he can't be trusted. You can count on me to split. The love I sell you in the morning, evening by the morning won't exist. So it just feels like the whole track is just him being unreliable, I guess. Because again, you have the evening and the morning idea there. Maybe a split personality thing too. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, this is my favorite though. This is fantastic. Love it. Again, pretty simple musically, but just really hard hitting, and the songwriting is just really bold and really engaging. So yeah, let's keep it going.
Inside of a raindrop, and I watched you falling to your death.
Like beautiful imagery on that opening
Body
verse.
of water, toxic and timeless, Atlantic Ocean, New York skyline. But I sing glory from my lowest, and I will say peace to the people I meet. So don't be fooled, no, don't
Love the pauses.
The wind's indecision.
Oh,
The sorrowful rain.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, I was a postcard. I was a record. I was a camera. Until I went blind. Looking for something.
They really understand
Open my eyes.
space really well too.
But I still sing glory from a high rise. So don't stay mad. Just let some time pass, and in the morning you'll wake feeling new.
There's the morning again. The
And if I
night and the
don't
morning, the
come back,
contrast.
I mean, if I get sidetracked.
I'm just keep completely enamored by this dude's songwriting right now. Like, very existentialist track, existential crisis, whatever you want to call it. It starts off with this beautiful verse. You were born inside of a raindrop. I watched you falling to your death. The sun couldn't save you because she'd fallen down too. Now the streets are wet. It's hard to put in words exactly what that means, but I feel like it's just kind of straightforward, you know? I feel like this album's doing a great job of, lyrically at least, being straightforward, but not sacrificing depth at all. Like, it's straightforward, but I feel like there's still stuff you can dig into, still stuff you can sink your teeth into and kind of just, like, dissect, you know? So good. It's so good. Feeling maybe insignificant in the New York kind of city lifestyle here, so I couldn't come meet you in Brooklyn last night, maybe feeling overwhelmed. This whole track is just very introspective, obviously. I sing glory from my lowest, and I will say peace to the people I meet. Kind of doom and gloom for a little bit of this track too, but I don't know, this track is just, I'm just so, again, intrigued by this dude's songwriting. It's really great. Camera reference again, you had the camera with the protest song, I was a camera until I went blind. So maybe he's feeling like, because, you know, a camera's whole point is to capture things. I was a camera. Maybe he's feeling like he can't do what he's supposed to. These are all ways of making relatively permanent memories of intangible conversations. I can't read. Observations and life experience. Permanent memories, yeah. Connor seems to be suggesting at some point he was uninspired, unable to use events in his life to give life to his art. I don't know about that. Because he said, until I went blind. I was a camera. I don't know. I'm intrigued. That's all I'm going to say. I'm intrigued. I'm loving this, by the way. If you couldn't tell, this is so good. Again, love the folky sound of that one. Musically, it's straightforward too, but again, musically, it doesn't feel like there isn't things to dig into, you know? I think I've heard this. This guitar part sounds familiar. I mean, it has nearly 300 million streams, so there's a good chance that I've heard it.
I went out in the rain, suddenly everything changed. They're spreading blankets on the beach. Yours is the first face that I saw. I think I was blind before I met you, and so I thought I'd let you know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, these things take forever. I especially am slow.
Beautiful.
Remember the time you drove all night just to meet me in the morning? thought it was strange, you said everything changed. You felt
Love the upright bass too.
as if you just woke up. But I'd rather be working for a paycheck than waiting to win the lottery.
Great line.
Besides, maybe this time it's different. I mean, I really think you like me.
Such a sweet track. Again, straightforward, but just such a sweet little track, you know? Pretty simple. Just falling in love with this person, you know, and I don't know. I got kind of emotional during that one. He's feeling, especially this line right here. These things take forever. I'm slow. I don't know why that line hit me so hard, but it just kind of did. Feels like he's taking forever to maybe become the person he wants to be, or maybe commit to this person. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about the track. Just the fact that it's just sweet. Again, I feel like that's the perfect word to describe it. Simple, sweet, but hard hitting. Yeah, not much else to say. Let's keep it going. Makes sense why that's the most streamed. I feel like it's the most universal, you know? But again, it's universal, but it's not sacrificing quality, you know?
Well, I'm changing all my strings. I'm gonna write another traveling song about all the billion highways and the cities at the break of dawn. And I'm screaming at my brother on his cell phone, he is far away. And I'm saying nothing in the past or future ever will feel like today, until we're parking in an alley, just hoping that our shit is safe. I'm hunched over a typewriter. I guess you'd call that painting in a cave.
Love the rhythm here.
And there's a word I can't remember and a feeling I cannot escape. Oh, and morning's at my window and she is sending me to bed again.
There's morning again. This dude is really obsessed with time.
Touching an old man in a fast food crowd.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I dreamt the ship was sinking. There was people screaming all around. I will kick and scream or kneel and plead. I'll fight like hell to hide that I've given up.
Oh. Oh, so good. This album hasn't missed yet. It has not missed yet. I feel like this is the thesis statement of the song right here. Fight like hell to hide that I've given up, you know? Kind of just putting on a front. I feel like that's been a theme throughout this album too. Hiding what you're really feeling. I mean, he's not hiding it from the audience here. He's obviously spilling it to us, the listener, but maybe he's hiding it from other people in his life. Again, like I said, he's very obsessed with time too. This one, I'm saying nothing in the past or future ever will feel like today. And then you have the idea of the morning and the night on that previous track. You've had that kind of pop up here and there as well on this track. Morning's at my window. Let's see what Genius says about this one. Right before, okay, it says nothing, pretty much. But yeah, I'm a little bit more confused on this one, but I'm still enjoyed it quite a bit. Here it feels like maybe I'm gonna write another traveling song. He feels like maybe what he's doing is just kind of pointless. This Break of Dawn again, talking about the morning, time. Just pretending again to dream about a train that's gonna take me back where I belong. So, a track about pretending, a track about hiding what you're really feeling. Yeah, great. Great track again. Love the groove on that one. Very, very folky. Yeah, let's keep going. I feel like I haven't said much about the actual music on this one, but I just feel like there's not really much to say about it. It's really more about the lyrics.
Tell me which road you will take. I don't wanna risk our paths crossing someday. So you walk that way, I'll walk this way. Till it falls all around like a cold, steady rain. Just stay in when it's looking this way.
See what I mean? Time, again. He doesn't want to think about the future. Future hangs over our heads until it falls around like a cold, steady rain, and then he wants to avoid that. He just wants to stay in when it's raining, when the future is imminent. He again doesn't want to think about it. But it's just like it's such a great way of expressing that idea.
And the sidewalk holds diamonds like a jewelry store case. They argue, walk this way, no, walk this way.
Oh.
And there's kids playing guns in the street.
Love the structure of this track.
Pointing his tree branch at me.
It's separating this long intro here into these separate verses, but it kind of just all feels like one long verse. You know, it's a really interesting structure. Each verse is kind of exploring a different idea. It's just kind of thought after thought being placed right in front of you. I don't know. It's cool. It's simple, but again, it's intriguing.
If you walk away, I'll walk away. And you shot me dead. I found a liquid cure from my landlocked blues. And it only feels worse when I stay in one place. So I'm always pacing around.
This album is just full of freaking quotables, man. It's so good.
Drinking the ink from my pen. And I'm balancing
Like
his.
this line right here. I hate to pause it again. The world's got me dizzy again. You'd think after 22 years I'd be used to the spin. It's just there. You know what it means right away. It's put such in a concise, straightforward, but still interesting way.
But it all boils down to one quotable phrase.
Quotables, like I
If you
said.
love something, give it away. With the noise in the background from a televised war. And in that deafening pleasure, I thought I heard someone say, if we walk away, they'll walk away. 'Cause we're coming for you.
The horns. This like triumphant trumpet.
Tired of holding this pose. I feel more like a stranger each time.
Is that why a trumpet? Hold on.
So I'm
Is that why a trumpet's called a trumpet? Oh, maybe not.
from the shackles
I thought trumpet,
of
triumphant
language
sounds kind of similar.
Clean escape. I'm leaving, but I don't know where to. I know I'm leaving, but I don't know where to.
Again, this album doesn't miss. It does not miss. Love the lyrics again. Love the little triumphant trumpet that comes in and during this section here. I'm intrigued by this one. This is another one where the theme of the song hasn't really come to me yet. I was kind of distracting myself a little bit there, so I didn't catch everything. But this is a great line to open. Tell me which road you'll take. I don't want to risk our paths crossing someday. So he doesn't want to cross paths with this person. It's not that he's just hopes it doesn't. He's actively trying to avoid it, you know? The moon's laying... I thought this line was beautiful. I don't really know what it means. Laying low in the sky, forcing everything metal to shine. Let's click it. I mean, in terms of what it literally means, it's obvious, but I wonder what he's really saying here. It says gravel and broken glass are encouraging him to leave everything behind and just walk onwards. Okay, so he kind of knows that he has to move on. As I'm leaving, she wakes up and says, I dreamed you were carried on the wood. Don't go away, come here. This is the one verse where I'm like, I don't really get how it fits in with the rest of the song. This was a good line here too, or a good verse. If you walk away, I'll walk away. Oh, okay. This makes sense, actually, this genius annotation. Compromise is an adult concept, which means it doesn't work well on kids who are just trying to play grown-up. Kids, one's pointing his tree branch at me. So maybe he's feeling immature, or maybe this relationship felt immature, just like there's no compromise, like a kid isn't able to compromise. I just want to keep going through this. You know what? Let's do it. I never really dive deep into lyrics, so I found a liquid cure for my landlocked blues. I have no idea. Maybe he's feeling trapped, landlocked blues, obviously. A liquid cure, is that drinking, I'm guessing? Yeah, okay. So that makes sense. It'll pass away like a slow parade. It's leaving, but I don't know how soon. So the landlocked blues will pass away? Yeah, saying that the sadness he was trying to get over plays a big part in his life. It'll soon fade away, but he has to endure it because he feels like the pain he is feeling is too hard to get over quickly. Yeah, again, this track just feels like him just spilling a series of thoughts, and it's really simple in its structure, but it's really, really effective. Again, love this line here, the dizzy line. It only feels worse when I stay in one place, so I'm always pacing around or walking away. And so good. Keep drinking the ink from my pen, and I'm balancing history books on my head. It all boils down to one quotable phrase: if you love something, give it away. I gotta click these. Drinking from one's own pen might represent a practice of trust in one's ideas or words. Okay. So yeah, he's trying to move on still here from this relationship, maybe. A good woman will pick you apart. A box full of suggestions for your possible heart. So yeah, I feel like it's just kind of an internal struggle here, because now he's saying, don't walk away. Don't walk away. He doesn't really know what he wants. He's leaving here, but he still is just kind of lost, and he still doesn't really know what to do. He's still feeling lost. Maybe this is him making a deal with the devils of fame. Maybe he's coping with this by fully indulging in his fame. Yeah, like Genius says, a mature look at the ending of a relationship. Super mature, super reflective, and very detailed, but also, again, straightforward. More of the same things I've been saying. Let's keep it going. We're going to move on to Poison Oak. I feel like, here's what I was trying to say earlier. I feel like sometimes songwriters and lyricists, whatever you want to call them, they can get too caught up in trying to make everything super metaphorical and super like heavy with symbolism and stuff, which is fine. That music is fine. But sometimes it's just nice to have a straightforward thing that still hits hard and still has stuff to dig into. I feel like it's kind of refreshing.
Telephone was a tin can on a string. And I fell asleep with you still talking to me. You said you were afraid to die
jeez. Okay.
Were you made ashamed? Why'd you lock them in a drawer? Well, I don't think that I ever loved you more.
So maybe about this person that committed suicide. Obviously they're transgender, but they don't feel comfortable coming out, which was probably the reason.
Cry themselves to sleep. But me, I'm a single cell on a serpent's tongue. There's a muddy field where a garden was, and I'm glad you got away. But I'm still stuck out here. My clothes are soaking wet from your brother's tears. And I never thought this life was possible. You're the yellow bird that I've been waiting for. The end of paralysis. I was a statuette. Now I'm drunk as hell on a piano bench. And when I press the keys, it all gets reversed. The sound of loneliness makes me happier.
That was a tough listen, man. I don't even really know if I need to say anything. Very hard-hitting, obviously, about this friend that likely committed suicide. It's beautiful, too, though. It's not all just, like, doom and gloom. It's a touching kind of tribute to whoever this person is. Loved the explosion of the sound and just the emotion too. That was really hard hitting and really, really special. I don't really have much else to say. That's just I feel like it's obvious why that's hard hitting. Last track is Road to Joy. I mean, that's a great title to wrap this up. It's been a heavy album, man. Oh, I didn't even realize that the title of the name is I'm Wide Awake, It's Morning, or the album, title of the album. Morning, again, double entendre with morning, perhaps, M-O-U-R-N-I-G. Last track hit me so hard.
No conclusions, flowers sleeping in their beds, the city cemeteries humming, I'm wide awake, it's morning. My drugs, I have my woman, they keep away my loneliness. My parents, they have their religion, but sleep in separate houses. No one ever plans to sleep out in the gutter. Sometimes that's just the most comfortable place. So when you're asked to fight a war that's over nothing, it's best to join the side that's gonna win. Let's fuck it up, boys. Make some noise!
What? That was honestly kind of mind-blowing. The sax in there, just the chaotic nature of that instrumental explosion. Oh my. Road to Joy is the title. Doesn't necessarily feel hopeful though. Feels like he's trying to be hopeful, but it continues to be tough. Parents, they have their religion, but sleep in separate houses. Some sects of Christianity condemn divorce, while those parents partake in one of those sects, they're still divorced. They are hypocrites, as many Christians are. True. However, it may be for the best that they are hypocrites. There's been a lot of themes of war in this too. Now it's written all over my face. You can see the effect that it's having on him. It's written all over his face. I feel like that's pretty obvious. Yeah, it's hard to put on a happy face after you read stuff like that. I hope I don't sound too ungrateful. What history gave modern man. Telephone to talk to strangers. Machine guns and I mean, it started with talking to strangers on the plane. And then obviously the traumatic event happens, and then they kind of become closer than a stranger, more than a stranger. He's trying to find the light in the world, but he is not really. The gravedigger is conflicted. Oh, okay. So maybe it's not. Maybe he's telling it from a different perspective. Should he be grateful for the instruments of war which keep him employed? Yeah, the instruments of war which are keeping him employed, but also causing a lot of pain and suffering. This line right here is kind of funny. Apparently he's been criticized for his voice. I've enjoyed his voice quite a bit. I mean, he's not like the most technically talented singer or anything, but he does put a lot of emotion and passion into the vocals, and they never really come off as annoying. They're not like overdone in any way. It feels real, but it's really emotive and passionate, like I said. The sun came up with no... Is that how it started, the track? Yeah. So it starts with the same verse. Yeah, he's trying to find a way to be happy, but the sun's gonna rise. It's gonna be the same thing tomorrow, I feel like. Flowers sleeping in their beds, the city's cemeteries humming, I'm wide awake, it's morning. It's gonna continue to happen. So good. This album is honestly kind of mind-blowing, especially this last track. Like I said, I pretty much love everything about this, but especially the lyrics and the songwriting. I feel like he just portrays himself as such an interesting person throughout this entire thing. Yeah, this is amazing. Those are my thoughts. That's going to do it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on this album down below. And as always, leave some suggestions if you want. If you want me to get to your suggestions faster, you can join the Patreon. Specifically, the $8 tier is where you get priority album requests. So again, consider joining that down below if you want. And that was it. That's it. I'm Wide Awake. It's Morning by Bright Eyes. Really good. Yeah, leave a like if you want. Subscribe if you want. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.